Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss about procedures and functions in VB.NET. Now we use procedures and functions to create a modular programs. In procedures and functions, VB statements are grouped in a block enclosed by sub and sub, and for functions it is enclosed by function and function statement. The difference between the two is that the function returns values, whereas procedures does not return values. Although both of them accept the parameters, but functions return a value and procedures does not return a value. Say for if you press or double click the button, you will get a code window, and in a code window we will get this type of format, sub and sub, and within the sub and sub we will write a code. And similarly we will get the format function and function, and we will code inside it. And whenever there is a sub, it will be ended with the end sub, and whenever there will be written function, it will always be ended with the end function. So we can say that procedure and function is a piece of code, a small piece of code in a larger programs. They perform specific tasks. Now, what are the advantages of the procedures and functions? See, procedure and functions, they helps us to reduce the duplication of the code. Once it is written, there is no need to write again and again. We can reuse that code for many programs. So reducing duplication of the code. Next, decomposing complex problems into simpler ones, because the whole program can be divided into small parts. So it makes programming easier and simpler to understand. Then improving clarity of the code. Yes, easy to understand, and reuse of the code. That code can be used for other programs also. For example, so you can say that if you develop big programs, we divide it into small parts. And these parts are called modules to make it simple. And modules are developed, and these small parts, they are developed with the help of procedures and functions. Now let's discuss what is a procedure. A procedure is a block of visual basic statements inside sub and sub statements. See, inside sub and sub format, there is a block of visual basic statements to perform a particular task. They do not return values, but they accept the or parameters through this argument list. So this is the general syntax of a procedure. Sub procedure, then this is ended with end procedure. This is a structure, and within this we write VB statements according to the required task. And this is the argument list, that is the parameters which are to be accepted by the procedure if required. Then let's take a look at the example. Sub procedure name trial message box dot show. This is sub procedure and sub. Now message box is an object, and dot show is a method of this object. So this will display the message that this is sub procedure. So we are here we can see that we are writing this line of code. If we want to display this is a sub procedure in a screen, we are writing this in this VB. This is a VB statement, and this is within which structure, sub and sub. Now this way we can create a procedure. Now take a button in a form. We can take a button in a form, name that button, suppose I name it as a BTN1, and double click on the button. Now double click, we have discussed previously also, double click, it's an event. Now code window will open. Whenever I double click the button, a code window will open with this structure. That is private sub button click. That is private sub. Private sub button means this is the button, and which event? Click event has been done, and this is. Now what happened? Trial. Now within this sub and end sub, I have written trial function. I am calling trial procedure. So this trial procedure will call the trial sub procedure, and that is it will jump to this sub procedure. Sorry, this will jump to this sub procedure, right? So in button, after I'll take the button, I'll press the button, then I'll write the code that is calling trial procedure. This is a calling and this is called. So this this our pointer goes to this point. Now it will call the trial sub procedure, and what is there inside this message box? This is a procedure. So this is how through button we are calling a sub procedure, and within the sub procedure whatever is being written will get displayed in our screen. So this is how a procedure is declared and called. Then next is your functions. Now what is function? A function is a block of Visual Basic statements inside function and end function statements. Again, what is the format? Function and end function. And within these, we have to write the Visual Basic statements. Function always returns values. It accepts the parameter, but it also returns the values. There are two types of functions: built-in functions and user-defined functions. What are built-in functions? Means they are inbuilt in VB.NET, part of the Visual Basic language. They may be mathematical functions, string functions, or conversion functions. And user-defined functions are which are defined by the user. Now syntax: function, function. This is a keyword. Then this is end with the end function. Now function name, this is a variable, whatever name you want to give to your function, and this is the argument list as data type. And inside this function and end function we have to write the VB statements. Now let's look at the example. Public function trial. See, this public depicts that this function can be used anywhere within the form. So function, what is the function name? Trial. By val a as integer and by val b as integer. So we are taking a as integer type, two variables, and b also as an integer type. Message box not show, this is a function. So this message box is an object dot method and it's displaying the message. This is a function. Now again in a form, when we go to the practical part, we will take a form, we will open the project, and in the form we will take a button, we will name the button and double click on it. So obviously code window will open, and in that this way we will get this structure, sub and end sub, and within this we will write our VB code, that is trial. We will be calling trial. So we are calling the trial function, and this trial function is calling, and this will jump to this trial, because it is calling trial function. And where is trial function? Trial function is defined here. So within the trial function, what is written? Message. So this here we are calling trial, and here this is being called, and all the statements within this function and function will get implemented, executed. That is, it will display this is a function. Now the next is passing arguments without return value. That is, passing the arguments within a function without return value. Again, public, same public function trial. We are declaring a function with the name trial, and inside it we are taking two variables, a as integer and b as variable in the argument list. Now in the function we are declaring three variables, dim x, y, z as integer. Here a is equal to x, b is equal to y, and z is equal to x plus y. So first of all, I'll explain you like this. See, a, here we are getting the parameter a. The value whatever the a contains will go to x. Whatever b will contain will go to y, and z is equal to x plus y. These are the local variables of this function. So message box shows argument without returning value. That is, whatever has been calculated in z is displayed in this function only. and end function. Now again we are taking the button, name the button, double click the button, and code window will open. And in this code window, in this sub end sub procedure, we write trial. It means that we are calling a function trial, but along with the calling, we are passing the parameters also. That is 20 and the 30. See this 20. Now when we are calling trial, we will jump to trial function. Now trial to trial. Now 20 will be received by which variable? A. Because already this trial contains two arguments A and B. So this 20 will be received by A and this 30 will be received by B. And now the X, Y, Z are the local variables. So the A is 20. That 20 is assigned to X and 30 is assigned to Y. So we will plus these values, we will add these values, and we will display this the value of Z, that is addition of X plus Y argument without returning the value. That is, here we have calculated the value of X plus Y, and we have showed the value in this function only, in the called part only, that is here. So this is passing arguments, that is we are passing 20, 30 here, but we are not returning value back to this trial. We are just displaying there only, the value there only. Now let's discuss passing arguments with return value. Again, the same, we are declaring a function trial. We are taking A and B in the argument list. Again, dim X, Y, Z as integers, three variables X, Y, Z. But first, let's have a look at this. We will again take a button, double click the button, a code window. This type of code window will appear, that is sub and nsep, and inside it we will do our coding. Dim A as integer, we are keeping A as integer, and A is equal to trial 2030. Again we are calling trial function. We will jump to this function trial, and we are sending two arguments 20 and 30. 20 will again be received by A and 30 will again be received by B. Now what will happen? See, these are the variables of the functions X, Y, Z. A is assigned to X, B is assigned to Y, Z is equal to X plus Y. But you must have noticed that here we are not printing the value of Z. We are just saying return Z. It means whatever has been calculated in X plus Y, the value is returned in Z. That Z value will be returned. Return means it will control goes back to your this trial function, and this value will return here 20 plus 30, that is 50. This will return here. Now the trial got the value 50, and that 50 is assigned to A. Now messagebox.show argument with return value A. Now we are showing the value or displaying the value of A, and what A contains? It contains the calculated value of Z that is being received by trial function, and the whole value of trial function is assigned to A, and simply we are printing the value of A in a calling part. So this is how in this case we are returning the value, and in the previous case, see, in the previous case we are not when we are calculating Z, we are not returning the value here in the trial, rather we are displaying in that part only, that is without return. So this is all about procedures and functions and parameters. Thank you.